Good morning, everybody. This is Dana. Welcome back to my channel. I first want to apologize for not getting this video up the next day, like I said I would. You guys know how it goes. Life just happens. So we're going to do this today. I want to tell you what I've done here. First off, some things that I've already prepared. Okay, remember all these little strips that we had, okay, from cutting our paper down. What I've done is I've used them to cut 3x4 photo mats because most of them are already 3 inches wide, okay? So what I've done is I've cut I believe it's 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 3x4 photo mats that I've gone ahead and matted with 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 designer paper. And I just rounded my corners on my 1/4 inch side of my corner rounder. Okay, so I have these all prepped and ready to go. Then I'm looking for my ruler and I don't see it here. 2 larger photo mats. I'm sure I'll find my ruler as we begin working here. Here it is. It's in all of my little strips over here. Okay, so I have 2 larger photo mats that are 3 3/4 across by 5. Okay, so 3 3/4 by 5. And so I matted those at 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. When I mat my photo mats or when I mat anything, all I do is take the measurement of the thing that I'm matting and I cut my mats 1/4 inch smaller. That's how I do my matting. Okay, so I've got 12 photo mats here ready to go. Then what I've done is I've used the strips again to cut 2 pockets. These are going to go on our inside front covers and back cover. Okay, and I didn't worry too much about how tall it was. I just grabbed a strip, and because our covers are 6 by 6, we're going to be scoring these a 1/2 inch on each side. I cut whatever size tall my strip was, and I cut them at 7 inches. So when we score at 1/2 inch on each side, we're going to end up with a 6 inch pocket. Okay, so I have those cut down ready to go. What else I've done to prep is I've prepped my sheets to mat our pages. Okay, now these measure, remember our pages measure 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. Okay, so my mats are 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, and I told you guys when we did the video that my paper pad was unused. Well, it wasn't. There were pages missing. So what I did was I went through my other 6 by 6 paper and 12 inch paper, and I supplemented with paper that I felt went well with the paper that I had chosen. So it's no big deal. If you have to use another paper pad, just use another paper pad. Okay, and the other thing and I cut, because we have 6 pages here that are double-sided, I cut 12 mats. Okay, then what I've done for my flaps, the front of my flap, that I remember I corner punched these mats measure 5 by 5 1/2. Okay, so I cut my mats 4 3/4 by 5 1/4 to fit right here, and then I corner punched them to match. So I have those ready. And for the other side of the mat, I decided to break everything up using solids. because we're going to have print here, and print here, and print here for the next page. So the inside of my flaps are going to be solid. So I just chose a pretty blue and green that went with the papers I'm using. And again, I cut these at 4 3/4 by 5 1/4, and then I corner punched because my flap is corner punched. Okay, so that's what I've prepared. The only thing I haven't prepared ahead of time is our photo mats that are going to go into the pocket here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and what I've done, one more thing, what I did first, I always do this first so I do not misuse my paper and then not have it, okay? What I've done first is I've chosen what I want to use for my cover, my spine, and my back cover. And I've trimmed those down to 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 because we have a 6 by 6 cover. And then my spine is 2 by 6. And what I do is I actually usually will cut my spine to the exact size, because with the fold over and the 1/8 inch gap, so my spine piece is 2 by 5 3/4. All right, so that's all the prep work. You can do that ahead of time or as you go. And then from here, it's simply gluing stuff down. So what I want to do first is prepare my pockets. So I need my scoreboard. I have my pocket piece here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to score 1/2 inch on each side. So from this side, I'm going to do 1/2 inch. And from the other side, I'm going to do 1/2 inch. And then from the bottom, I'm also going to do 1/2 inch. And I'm going to do that for both my pockets. Okay, so here you see we have, let's see if the other side will show it better. There we go. We have a 1/2 inch on each side and 1/2 inch on the bottom. I'm going to do that to both. So along the bottom and along each side. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my scissors and right on that score line, right up to the corner, I'm just going to snip off the corners, just like that. Okay? Right where they meet. And now I'm going to fold all my score lines. Okay. Now I don't want to put my pockets on just yet, because what I want to do is I want to mat this first before I lay my pocket down. Okay? Okay, burnish those score lines. And I think now we're ready to start gluing stuff down. So I have my 2 pockets. Those are ready to go. Okay, so let me go ahead and put my covers and my spine. I'm using Art Glitter Glue because it's my favorite. You use whatever it is that you want to use. So I've already chosen, I did this first, like I said, what I wanted on my cover. And typically what I do for my glue is all clogged up here. Typically what I do for the back cover is, because you don't really look at the back cover of your album that much, I choose usually my least favorite paper to put there. So this is going to go up here like this. And because I cut 1/4 of an inch smaller, I get this nice border. So I like this page because it gives me this part here to embellish and decorate. And then I have the pretty flowers. Okay, let's do the back. My glue is just all stopped up here. There we go. Okay. We'll lay the back one down. Okay, give me just a moment. Okay, got my glue unstopped here. Put my back cover on. And now for my spine. Get that centered top to bottom. And there we go. Okay, so my cover, spine, and back. Now let's put our inside front cover pieces on. The floral print is so pretty. Let's see which way we're going to go. This way. I just thought this paper pad went so well with that craft. Okay. And then the back cover. Okay, and now that these are down, we can put our pockets in. So what I'm going to do is take one of my pockets. I'm going to put glue on the back side of each of the 3 flaps that we created. I don't want to put so much glue that it seeps out. I'll show you when I'm done here. I don't want to put so much glue that it seeps out into the pocket here because I don't want to close any of my pocket up. Now I'm just going to line this up right down here on the edge. Line it up to the edge of my cover. And I want to make sure that I've cleared my score line. Okay, so if you lay it flush with this edge, it should not obstruct your score line. Okay, and I'm going to burnish that down. Okay, if you can see that it's kind of sitting right here in the gusset, okay? But it should fold fine because remember, that's 1/8 of an inch wide. Remember, we left 1/8 of an inch between our covers and our spine. So it should not obstruct the folding of your book. Okay, let's put our other pocket on. Glue on the flaps. Lining it up flush with the edge. Flush with the edge and the bottom. Okay. Got that all lined up, so I'm going to burnish it down. I want to make sure my book closes really well. Yeah. And there we go. I'll map these pockets in a little bit. Okay, so now what I'm going to run through and do is start laying down my pieces for my flaps, front and back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a print on the front, and I'm going to put a solid on the back. So I'm going to pause you here and I'll be right back. Okay, I've gotten all my flaps matted, and here's what they look like. So I've got a print on the front of the flap and a solid on the back. Really cute. Coming along. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tackle the front page of each signature. And what I'm going to do is go through the stack that I have cut. And for me, I'm going to see what I want next to the solid, because I alternated between blue and green. Okay, so I'm going to run through and I'm going to mat the front page of each one, picking a print that I like next to the solid that is sitting opposite it. So these will sit just like this. And what they're going to do, remember our flap that we glued down here when we made our flap? So when we mat this, it's going to hide that flap. Okay, you're going to see a little bit of it right down here at the bottom and top, but not very much. So I'm going to choose my prints for my front page, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm all done matting my front page. And what I love about this design is the flap we've made a little bit smaller. I'm sure you noticed that when you constructed it. And I did that so that you can see partially the page coming up from underneath it. And I just like that look. So I've chosen papers that I felt went well with my solid that's on the back here. So here's what it looks like so far. Really cute. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to mat the back side of my pages, okay? And what I'm going to do is just kind of choose something that I think looks good with the print that's on the flap that's sitting next to it. So choose your papers and glue those down, and I'll meet you right back here. Okay, I have all of my mats in. And what I've also done is measured my pocket, and my pocket's measured 6 by 2 3/8. So I cut 2 solid colored mats, okay, out of my solids, just trying to break up some of the print that's going on. And so my mats measure 5 3/4 by 2 1/8, and I went ahead and glued those down. So all of our surfaces are now covered with paper. Here's how mine looks. Now, if you don't like this much print going on, then just supplement with solids. I mean, it's your album. Whatever you think looks good, do, okay? So, now the next thing that I've done, okay, is, let me grab them. Where are they? Where did they go? Oh, here they are. What I want to do with the front page that's right underneath the flap is I want to put photo mat here, okay? But I need a tuck spot. So what I've done is just gone through some of my embellishments, and I happen to have this digital, I am not sure whose digital this is. It could be Gail Agostinelli. I don't think it is. It might be Tracy Fox. I'm not sure. Okay. But what I've done is I cut, she had some doily prints in her digital, and I happened to print the small version of them, and I already had these cut out and in my embellishment book, because I thought these would make perfect tuck spots, and the colors kind of went with what I was working with in my album here. So what I'm going to do is I picked out 6 of them, and what I'm going to do is run through, and I'm just going to glue onto the, you know, like the corner of the circle, or this curved edge of the circle, and I'm just going to glue them down, one each on the front page that sits underneath the flap. So I'll show you how that looks. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and these look so cute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through, I'm going to kind of lay out my photo mats in front of me here that I do have that are my 3x4s. A few more up here. And I'm just going to pick which one I want here. I think this blue one will look really cute. So that's how our finished page will look here. Okay, this one, let's see. I kind of like this green one here. I think I'm going to choose this one here because of the black and white text that's right here. And let's see, what do we want here? Maybe one of these green ones. That's pretty. Yeah, that looks cute. And then let's go with this. That looks cute on the text. Okay, so that's what our page layouts look like. Really, really cute. Now, I've left all of my photo mats craft on the other side because that's great journaling space. Okay, so this is what we have here. So now we have our front and back pockets, and what I've designed here is this is what our larger photo mats were for. Okay, remember we had 2 of them. Okay, so what I've done is, because I want a big photo mat in the back, and then I want 2 smaller ones in the front. Like that, on each pocket. So this will go like this. And yeah, I'm happy with that. So that's how that'll look. And I'll decorate these spaces here when I have a little more time. And probably when I decide what I'm going to do with the book, I'll then decorate the cover and then the pockets and maybe do a little more embellishing in the book itself. So now the last thing that we have is our photo mats for our pockets, our vertical pockets. I've made 6 because we have 6 pockets. Okay, these measure, okay, these are great because it's basically A2 size card, basically 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. Okay, cut it in half vertically at 4.25. Turn those, cut it in half at 5.5. So these are 4.25 by 5.5 photo mats, okay? And I've matted them with 4 by, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. I've matted them with 4 by 5.25. And I used solids. And I like to do that because it's journaling space front and back, especially on these dark blue. If you have a white gel pen, it looks really nice. Or it's a photo mat. So either way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through and I'm going to insert these and I'm going to alternate colors. And I did round the corners and I'll tell you why. Not only do I think it looks nice, but it's a lot easier to get a photo mat into a pocket if the corners are rounded. So that's why I did that. So now we're on green because the corners don't snag. And then we have blue. Green again. And blue. All right. And that's our final book. So we'll do one last flip through. Here's what that looks like with all the photo mats in it. So we have our inside front cover with our 3 photo mats. We have our flip. Inside the flip is a tuck spot with a photo mat, a 3x4 photo mat. And then we have our pocket here that holds a 4.25 by 5.5 photo mat. What do you guys think? Tell me what you think. I thought this mini album was a great size to use 6x6 papers, but it's also easy to put together. Looks really nice, and it's going to hold a lot of photos and a lot of journaling. Whether you make this for yourself or give it as a gift, I think these are wonderful. Now, in the next video, we're going to do one more mini album. And then after that mini album, we're going to do some sewing projects because I have some that I need to do for Christmas, and they're great ideas for gifts. So our next project is going to be a vertical paper bag mini album. So I hope y'all are excited for that. And then after that, we'll move on to a couple of sewing projects. So I hope you give this a try. I hope you like it. And I'll see you in the next video. God bless everybody.